you got to turn it up. You got to stop.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Dynasty.
And I'm Charles, and welcome to Mental Health in the Hood.
And this is a mental health show. All
job.
right. So this is season 2, which is about psychological and emotional trauma. This is episode number 5, the final episode of season 2.
Yes.
Yes, we have made it,
Yeah,
right?
we're finally here.
We're finally here.
Okay, let's go there.
Okay, so this topic today is called From Youth Detention Centers to Believing in Change. And today we have a very, very special guest. This is our 8th special guest on the show.
Yes.
And it is my sister, Mycole. Hey, Mycole. All right.
Dynasty sister, y'all.
Yes, this is my little sister. So basically, Mycole is 18. I'm 30, so we're 12 years apart. So I was only child for 12 years, and then came my little sister. If you went to Audubon with me, everybody knew about Mycole. I always had her with me, around me in some type of form, from babysitting, bringing her to Rancho Cienega Park. Me and my friends, like, watching her. I'll jump in the pool, have my friends watch her, then jump back out the pool to make sure she's all right. So she's been around me for a very long time, and her story is very interesting. We both come from the same environment, the same type of family dynamics. This is my father. This is not Mycole's father, but this is also a father within love, you know, in spirit. So she's here to share this space with us. And I think during our recap and feedback, somebody had talked about how we should have a youth on the show.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to have more youth after Mycole. She's going to set the stage today.
Yep.
But we can't forget about the shout outs and celebrations.
Yes, shout out to celebrations. All right, we cannot forget. Mycole, did you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi.
There you go.
Okay, so basically, we want to shout out to everybody who came to our last Zoom meetup on September 9th. We talked about emotional and mental abuse, and a lot of people came through. And one of the main questions that people had enjoyed and really wanted to talk about was about insecurities.
Yeah, it was everybody insecurities.
Yes.
I feel like that was it really opened people up. I was really proud of the people who actually exposed what they were insecure about and that support that they felt on the Zoom meeting. I always use the word amazing because it is. Because when I'm sitting there listening to other people, this energy that goes through me, I'll be like, wow, you know, so it builds me up. So I really liked it. I really did.
And also, shout out to everybody who came to our second call to action.
Yes.
We really appreciate you guys coming out. That was on Sunday, September 20th. Yeah. We had a great time. As you can see, we had more people. Yeah. More people are inspired about it because I think the call to action is calling certain issues and social issues to the forefront. But at the same time, call to action is really about having more positive ways of dealing with some of the aggression that we feel, the pain that we feel, and really inspiring our community to do something with their pain in a positive way that can help uplift themselves and help uplift others. So thank you for everybody for coming. Thank you for following us, supporting us, watching our show, sharing our posts, telling people about us. We really, really appreciate it. And now that we talked about shout out and celebration, we can go into a little education about what psychological and emotional trauma is all about. Because when we're talking about season 2 with this, we want to make sure everybody's informed about what this actually means. So that in case you're experiencing something like this, if you need help, you can always reach out to us and we can point you in the right directions and supports that could be available. And also just give you education, even if you've never experienced or just want to know about it.
Exactly.
So here we go. Psychological and emotional trauma is damage or injury to the psyche after living through an extremely frightening or distressing event. It may result in challenges in functioning or generally coping after the fact. While each person who experiences a traumatic event will react differently, many recover well with the proper support system and do not experience long-term problems. All right, so we're going to get into the real meat and potatoes of this meeting today with Mycole. I'm very excited. It's time to hear your truth, your side, right? Okay, Dad, take it away.
How you doing, Mycole?
I'm fine, and you?
Okay, you smiling. I love it when people smile. It makes me smile, see?
Yes, she's so pretty.
So I just want you just to relax, be honest, and try to open up with the people out there about growing up, things like that. Understand that we support you up here. So let's go and get started. So my first question is, it's going to be a two-part question. So my first question is, how was your family dynamics growing up? Who was a part of your life?
My family dynamics growing up was me, my mom, and my sister. My sister was in high school. She used to take me around. My mom was at work and yeah, partying. Um,
That's okay. That's okay.
so I was with my sister. When I turned 12, I was in like 6th grade, second semester. Um, I would talk to my dad, but not that much. But I was in middle school, and life got a little difficult for me. People that's a part of my life is my sister, my mom, my granny, and my auntie Sherelle, but she's dead now. But that's my family tree.
Okay.
What area were you growing up in at that time?
94, like Manchester, northeast section of
Yeah,
here.
we was living off 94th in Hardale.
Did you like it over there?
Yeah, we had a house.
Oh, you had a house? She said
we had a backyard and all of that.
Okay, well that's good. I like that. So is there anything that you remember about over there at the time when you were growing up?
My sister was like me, like my age. She used to be having a lot of fun. That's all I know. I
Okay,
used to be with my sister.
that's good. She was able to just be a kid at that time. You was being a good big sister at that time.
I would say.
They got that laugh right there,
I think I
y'all.
was doing, I thought, I don't know what I thought, but I know that I kept her safe.
Okay.
So I never put her in a situation where her safety was not cool.
Okay.
So I definitely played a big sister role with keeping her safe.
So that means you changed some Pampers before too.
Of course, change Pampers, babysit, made bottles. Like, what are you talking about? Like the whole thing. Like I was a mom, like real young with her. So yeah, I've done the whole thing.
Okay.
At least up until she was at least about. Cause I turned when I was 18. She was. I was my mom had her when I was 12. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So yeah, I was going to college, so I was probably with her till she was about 7 years old, 7 or 6. Yeah.
It was something I was just thinking about. I wanted to ask Mycole. I wanted to know how did it feel when you first went to junior high? Like junior, you was 12 years old then, right? So how did you feel? Just like were you excited? Were you nervous? Did you feel like that your life is changing?
Yeah.
How was it?
I went to Audubon Middle School. It was scary, cool, different. It was a lot going on at one time. But when I was in 6th grade, I was like still like a 5th grader a little bit because I was like not hanging out with nobody. Then when I got in 7th grade, life got a little real, a little different.
How?
Like what? Trying to fit in somewhere. There's so many different
It was just
people.
so much going on, like gang banging, and then it was the nerdy kids, the gang banging, the fighting, and then it was just like, okay, where do I fit in at? I don't know yet. Then I gotta walk this way, so I fit in with the people that walk this way.
Right.
So I'm like, okay.
You know, that's funny because we got 3 of us. We all went to Audubon, right, at different times.
Yeah, we all went to Audubon.
And the reason why I asked that question because when you go to junior high for the first time, you have so many different sections of people. Like life opens up.
Yeah,
right? It's not like elementary. Because people was coming from everywhere now.
Yeah.
And then you have, like she said, you have your section over here. You might. Well, back then we call them nerds, and then you had your gang members over here.
Yeah.
Different sets, Crips and Bloods. Then you had your females who cheerleaders.
Yeah, the dancers.
And things like that. So you try to figure out where you fit in.
That's what she hit that on the nail. Because junior high is when you start figuring out what part I fit in with. Like where do I go?
Yeah. You did a great job answering that question.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So. Can you identify a critical time in your life that led you through an emotional crisis?
That's a good question.
For me, I feel when I was Well, all the time growing up, I have an auntie, my dad's sister, Sherelle. I used to be with her a lot. Get dropped off over there for the weekend or through the week. So when I was in 7th grade, I got a, or 6th grade, 2nd semester, I got a phone call from my dad. I was at my grandma's house. And then he said, was I sitting down? So I was confused, like, why am I sitting down for if I'm going to go to school?
Right.
So I was just brushing my teeth and stuff. And then he's like, your auntie died. And I just dropped the phone in the water and dropped to the floor. And I started crying. My grandma and aunties was all confused, like, what happened to her? Like, so then my grandma picked the phone up, and then that's what she told. She talking to my dad. She took me to my auntie's house, and then my auntie was really dead. I didn't go to school for like a long time. They just let me stay at home because I couldn't go to school. It was too much going on. My auntie died. That was like my mom. So,
Wow. So how important she was to you? Like, what did you feel like you lost when you lost her?
Yeah.
My family, she used to be the cooker, the party thrower, everything. It was fun.
Yeah. She made you feel like you exist?
Yeah.
That's right. And sometimes, you have people in your life that makes you feel like you exist. Everybody don't, but you have that one special person that makes you feel good about getting up, living, seeing them every day and things like that. And that's what her auntie was for her. So at that time in her life, when that happened to her at a young age of 13, was it 13? 12 years old, what do you do in that state? Especially if you don't have the support that you need at that time, right? And so things happen after that. So, I can just imagine. I wish I could have been around, you know what I'm saying, to be able to be there for you in some type of way. And so,
I think tough. Too, at that time at Audubon, we didn't have mental health counseling.
No, it was getting low on staff.
Yeah, they didn't. I think Miss Flanor, was she there?
Yeah.
Mr. Flanor was there. Miss Flanor was there. Mr. Daly was there. Mr. Daly was more in the dean department.
Yeah.
And Miss Flanor was more in the college and career and academic department.
Okay.
So they didn't really have a lot of mental health therapists at the school unless they was contracted. Okay. And then there was a limit on that. But I don't think that my family was educated on trying to figure out how to support her with her grief.
Right.
And what that was like for her. So, yeah.
I don't know if you're comfortable with asking this question, but I feel like I should ask, just for the people out there, was it something like that you turned to that helped you get by every day, that made you numb your pain, forget about your pain and things like that?
So, first, I used to just like at first my family knew I wasn't going to school. And then they used to take me to school, but then I used to go to school and leave, or just not walk in the gate, or just say I'm going to take the bus and not go, and just to smoke. And then that's when they start noticing, because I start asking for more money. They want to know where all the money goes. If I have money, they give me money.
Right. And you use it on weed? Okay. So that's basically what you turn to numb yourself.
Yeah, make you just forget about what's going on. You just be in a different world.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
All right, I got another question for you, Mycole. You're doing good.
Yeah,
proud of you, okay? Good. You're doing real good. Your voice is high. I'm feeling it. All right. So, the first question, let's do this one. How old were you when you first got arrested?
Take your time. Think about it.
Like 14, 13 and a half, 14. I think it's
14,
14.
13. And can you tell us about how much time you have spent going in and out of juvenile hall?
Well, first, it was a little nice because they used to just let you go to the station and then you go home with a court date. And it started getting a little mean. They told me I had to.
You said first it was a little nice.
They want to keep you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Then I went to court one day, and they told my auntie Kim, well, it's okay. I told my auntie Kim, take me to court one day because my mom was not there.
Okay.
And then they told me that I was going to go to placement, but I didn't know that you had to go to juvenile hall to go to placement.
Right.
So I was just like, okay. And then they put me in the back. So
how did that feel, though? I can imagine if you thought you was going home or going to a placement, but they say, no, you got to stay here. Like, how did that feel like?
I was just looking at everybody, and there was all these people in the back, boys and girls, and then I was just sitting there, and then I just started crying because I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to my active court visit, and it wasn't even my mom, it was my auntie Kim, and then she was just like, I don't know, I didn't know, nobody know, like, you go on the placement, you gotta go inside. So they just all feel bad. They was trying to ask me if they could, like, let me go home.
Right.
And then I stayed there for a week, one weekend, and then that's it. I had got busy Saturday and Sunday, but I just was crying the whole visit because
go home. Huh?
Yeah,
you want to go home.
So some girls come to my room and say, like, you can read books and make your time go faster. Like, you feel me? Like, you want me to braid your hair, like, nice stuff, but.
Right. Did you say to yourself that you didn't never want to go back there again?
That's why I feel like you shouldn't say that.
Okay.
You should just,
What? Go ahead.
I feel when you say, I'm not going back to jail, like, I don't know, you gonna go back to jail. Like, just be, you know you not. You don't gotta tell people. Like, I just keep it to myself. Like, I'm confident. I don't want to be, because I used to say, I'm never going back to jail, be back in 5 days. Like, no, I'd rather just not say nothing.
Right, I got
And then
you.
it was a time that you went for a longer period of time, which was recently, right? So, how long were you doing that, and how was that for you?
So my first placement was at Aviva. It was in Hollywood. I was there at 14. It was nice. I stayed for 5 months, and then I went back to the halls because you get detained if you don't run your program. So I went back to the halls. My PO picked me up at 5 in the morning. That was my first placement, so I was really confused then, and then they sent me to another placement. Honestly, I AWOL, that means you leave, because I thought I was going to get detained again if I just was about to go home in 1 more month, and they picked me up. So then I AWOL, and then I used to go on the run a lot. Then I went back to jail, went to camp. My first time in camp, I was a little quiet because it was like, I don't know, somebody sleeping right next to you. If you go to sleep, they can get you.
Yeah.
So I was just like, just quiet because I fight a little bit of people, but I was just quiet. Then I went home finally, went to my grandma's house. So it was like a year, like 4 months like this time. Then I went to my grandma's house. I stayed out for 7 months. Then I went back to jail in December 2018, got house arrest. And then I have a smart mouth, so my grandma called my PO, and then I cut the house arrest off. And then I was on the run, turned myself in, and now I went to jail, and then I got out, and I went back in 2 weeks. Now I just been in jail since March 29th, 2019, but I've been free since the 28th of August.
28th of August this year?
28th of
Look
August
at you. She been free,
Okay.
y'all. Free as a bird.
I was listening to her talk, and she kind of went into my next question, and it was a 2-part question. So I'm just going to ask you the second half of the question instead of asking you the first half. Okay? So you talked about juvenile hall. I was going to ask you what was the experience like in juvenile hall. I didn't want to cut you off. So now I want to ask you what was helpful in juvenile hall and what was not so helpful.
Yeah, and you can be honest.
Yeah.
What was the good things, and then what was the
bad
things that wasn't too good?
When I first got there, I'm gonna be honest, I was trying to like gangbang and stuff. But then when you realize life when you in jail, it's like, why are you fighting people when you supposed to be trying to get back home?
Right.
So it's like home or stay with these people that you never gonna see again when you leave. So I just started realizing life like every day. Something every day was different about me. Like, I don't know. When I first went to the halls, I was like bad. Like, I'm not going down. I'm not going to my room. I'm not doing none of that. Called the OD. But then, when I turned like 17, I started being nice, being KP and stuff. But at first, I was bad. Then the staff just teach me like big sisters, because they not my mom. So like big sisters, they just tell you like, just be good, Salone. And I would bring you stuff like, no one wants you to be here. Like, they support you too. You go to school, get your credits fast, but jail is not the place to be. So it's a good place, like, you feel me, for them to teach you. But
it's a trip, because I'm sitting there looking at her, and she was telling me about the bad things she was doing, how she was rebelling, and I'm looking at it, and I can't see it now. Like, I can't see it. And that's a beautiful thing, though.
I can see it.
Well, you know more. Hey, you know more, but I'm saying I can't see it now, though. She's on the right track, though.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Right, but I just wanted people to know that this little pretty face, this little small body, yeah, it can get real, okay? But I'm very, very proud of what she's doing right now, so we appreciate that. So I wanted to go back to the part where you said that the staff at the program started to feel like they were like your mentors, right? So they would support you. What made you trust them?
I don't tell nobody nothing. Nobody know nothing. This placement, I'm be honest, I don't know what happened. I just started telling them a lot of stuff. Because it's a point in time when you feel like if you in jail and you don't got nowhere to go home, so it's like, okay, I could beat up you, staff too, because I don't have no home to go to. Everybody else going home. I'm going to placement, the next destination. They gonna release me soon. So I used to just think like that. And my family never judge. My family don't judge. But I just was burnt on my bridges because I kept like being smart with everybody and stuff. So it was like hard to call them, but they would answer for me. So then I started calling my family. They just tell me like, you feel me? Take the support that's around you. So I just was like, okay. So I started talking to the staff. This the first placement I didn't AWOL. I mean, I'm not gonna say I didn't AWOL, but I didn't AWOL and I went back and I didn't stay going for a long time. I wasn't the best at this placement, but I still was trying because I'm growing up.
That's right. And you know what? And one thing that we want you to understand, and everybody out there to understand, is once you start opening up, you're giving yourself a role for help.
Yeah.
And that's, one of the hardest things to do is open up and share with people of how you feeling, because sometimes you don't even know how to express how you feeling. But that's where it starts at. As soon as you start open, but it has to be to the right people, the people who's really trying to help you. And I think that inside the placement, that's what the mentors are for.
Yeah, the staff like 27 to 30, no older, no younger. They just, I don't know.
They was young like your sister.
Yeah, I used to talk to
them.
Yeah, they see you on Zoom. They see you.
Okay.
That's what I want her to do. Her job is nice, the tutoring, but you can go to the halls or something. So she just can't get attached to the kids, but it's nice.
So you basically saying I need to take Julia to juvenile halls?
Yeah, because you got a sister that been in the predicament, so I feel like you won't be like, take it down.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
nobody wants to be in that room.
Yeah.
Like, dang.
Yeah, I have a different way to relate, right? Okay.
Yes,
all right.
That was good.
That was good.
Yeah, very interesting.
Okay, Mycole. So, could you share with the everyday people what steps you had to take to get on the right path before re-entering back into the community? So, I know before you get out, you had to meet with your attorney, and y'all had to come up with a plan for you to exit, and there was things you had to do. Tell us about that process and what you had to do.
So, I already knew what I have to do, independent living. That's a AB-12 juvenile foster youth program.
That's right.
Which gives a minor the apartment. So I signed up for that in January when I got to the placement. So every meeting, like CFT, MDT, it was about when was my apartment was gonna be ready. Do I still want to do it? Then it started, I'm gonna be honest, it started getting to a point where I thought I wasn't gonna get the apartment because they kept changing the date and stuff.
Right.
So I was like, am I gonna go? I don't have nowhere to go home to. So it's like, what are they gonna do with me? I used to ask the staff, like, are they gonna just put my stuff outside? They like, no. So then it got July. Then they told me when I turned 18 that I was gonna get a lot of interviews. Like 2 days after my birthday, I got an interview. The process started going fast. Then it started going slow. I had to call my sister and tell her if I could live with her till September 15th till my apartment was ready. Then everything started speeding up again. So I told her never mind, but she did say I could come in because no one judges. And now I have my own apartment in Lakewood. So.
Okay. And how does that work? Like having your own apartment, do you pay rent? Do they pay rent for you, or how does that work?
So you get paid 2 times a month. They pay you for living there. You have to be enrolled full time in school or have a job. I was in school full time, but now I have a job because school. I want to do hair, but you still gotta take a test to get to the hair part. But I just gotta understand college for myself. I just gotta figure it out for myself. And then so one of those, and then you pay $50 a month of your rent or $25. They match your money. I mean, you have to have food in your house. If you break anything, it's up to you. You can't have company, but due to coronavirus, it's no company. It lasts all the way till you're 21.
Wow.
And when the rent you pay, they give it back when you turn 21.
Wow. Are you serious? They give it back? Okay.
So it's basically a program where you're able to get some form of stability and security, but it also comes with requirements that you have to meet to keep that stability. So you can't have company over.
No smoking. So
no
right
smoking
now,
or no drinking.
My case manager could be at my house.
Just there
she
when
got
you show
my
up.
keys.
Yeah.
She got my keys to my room, my keys to my bathroom, my keys to everything. It's another roommate.
So they have access to it. So basically, with that being said, it allows you to go home, have a peace of mind. Now you working. They got you a job. You went through a training workshop, and then now you're doing your internship hours so that you can prepare for a more permanent, I would say, employment.
Yeah,
right?
3 jobs, 4 jobs on my resume now.
And I think this program is good because if you think about it, I'm not going to get too personal with me and Mycole's business, but my sister was lacking housing stability. That was a lot of reasons why she was in and out of juvenile hall. At a point in time, her and my mom did not have a stable place to stay. So with that being said, Mycole was staying, at different places with my mom, which wasn't always comfortable. So that's why she always usually reverted back to the streets. It wasn't like she wanted to go to the streets, but it was like she went from having grown up in a house with me and her. Then I went off to college and started living my life. Then she was with my mom by herself. And they started moving around doing their things. And my mom was going through her struggles. And I had to do what I had to do so that I can come back and be able to do what I'm doing for her today, So that was tough for us. So a lot of that was because of instability. So when you had somebody like my sister who was able to go through juvenile hall, and then soon as she got a juvenile hall, she transferred to placement to kind of prepare her for her reentry around good people, because there's not a lot of good people out here, but she did have a placement with good people that really, really cared about her, which means a lot, because once they know that you care, they'll do better. But when kids don't feel like you care, or they feel like they can't trust you, that's not going to motivate them to go in the right direction. So she had that type of support, and then now that she's out, as long as she continue to do these things, she don't got to worry about where she going to live no more. That's not something she got to worry about or think about. She got a place to stay regardless of whatever's happening with my mama. She has people that's supporting her in her corner that's outside of family. She got a community of people from the people she was around in her placement that she can go to. She has me, of course, but she also has my side of the family with my dad, and we also have shared my mom's side of the family. And she got a lot of cousins that really love her, and that's one thing about our family is that we don't judge anybody, I went through juvenile hall before, too, when I was younger, so it was easy for me to figure out how to support my sister. But also, if you hear what she says a lot, she had to figure it out herself. No matter how much everybody else was around, she had to make a decision if this is what I want to do.
Exactly.
So you know, it's a lot of irony and truth that when it comes to Mycole's story, and there's so many underlying pieces that wasn't able to be connected, but at the same time, we wanted to highlight her process through youth detention and how that rehabilitated her and her transition to where she is now. And I think as a sister, I'm very, very proud. I feel like my prayers was answered. I used to always think about my sister. A lot of the things that I do right now is because of my sister. I want my sister to have things. I want her to be a part of things. So no matter where I go in the world, she'll have something a foundation that she can use and basically build herself off of, and know that, you know, her sister was working hard, and know that she can do it too. Because a lot of us don't grow up in families with guidance or have nobody to look up to. I was the only child for 12 years, so I didn't have anybody to look up to, and I was the first person that graduated from college with a master and bachelor's degree out of 3 generations.
Very cool.
So my sister, it was very important for me to be that role model for her. So even when she went through her trying times, like I did too, she was able to look up and say, well, my sister is doing it. You know what I mean? So that also is a motivating factor for her. So yeah.
Okay.
And thank you, Dad, for sharing this space with us. You know, because
it's
we're able to see both parts.
Yeah, it's different for me. I'm actually happy to be here because I missed so much of your life. And when I was in the inside, your little sister was born, and so to be sitting here with y'all today, like looking at this generation to another generation, and we all on a path of in recovery. You know what I mean? Trying to do better with our lives. So right now that things are a lot more better with us, and that's why we reaching out. And she's very brave for coming up here today. And I'm just soaking it all in, because now I hold a level of responsibility when I sit right here at this table.
Yep.
So I'm just thinking. So we down to the last question of the interview, Mycole. You've been doing great. So here we go. Now that you are released, what are some of the positive things happening in your life now? And even with that question, I realized that we talked about some of the positive things that are happening, but could you think of any other positive things that you feel like that you might have left out that are happening, that's existing for you? A vision that you can see for yourself going down the line. So what's on your mind, Mycole?
I just be waking up in the morning and I be like, honestly, I just be like, I'm messing up somewhere, because I feel like, I don't know, I am doing good though.
That's right.
Been out 2 weeks since Thursday, but I don't know, I just be feeling like I'm doing something bad. But honestly, I feel like I'm doing good. I haven't had no company at my house. Never tried to smoke in by. I walk down the street away from my house.
Yeah.
I'm being respectful to my family. I'm not like cussing at the people. Been saying stuff to me, but I haven't been saying anything back. I'm doing hair. Me and my sister got a good relationship.
Yeah, you're on a mental health show right now. You know, that relationship.
She was watching the mental health show. Now she on it.
Yeah, that is funny. I found out that she was the staff allowed her to watch her sister on the mental health show.
Yep.
And the good thing about it, that gave her a chance to also learn about me a little bit too. So hopefully she knows that she has supported me, like regardless of anything. So to have her on the show, we need to send this up inside.
Yeah, you need to show them. I'm gonna get the link. Yeah,
okay. But people, she's only been out for 2 weeks, probably going on 3 weeks. She's working, she's doing the things that she needs to do, and we're gonna help her with that vision and what it looks like to survive out here in this world, one day at a time.
Yeah, you know? Slowly.
Yeah, slowly.
One day.
Yeah.
Where do you think right now a lot of your decisions is coming from that I talk about? Where do you think everything now? Because it seems like now you're starting to think more about everything that you're doing. So where does the thinking come from?
Honestly, if you hang out with me, I just be staring because my mind be on the next day, because I gotta make sure I'm not slacking. I don't want to be far behind. So I be thinking about my next move, because I don't want to be getting somebody's car and then I be calling, I'm at the station. Like, oh no, I'll just be scared now. I'm a little different.
Okay.
You don't want to make no wrong decisions.
If you go to jail, you lose the apartment. Then where I go. It's no more doing it over after you 18. So
because that 3-year time span you have, that's a great opportunity. Like And you still so young. Like when you 21, you still gonna be so young,
Yeah.
so you're not missing anything. But did that give you opportunity, you know, to save your money? You can open a bank account, you can savings account.
That's what I need help with.
That's
Saving. I never saved.
Listen, that's why
I'm saved queen. I've been trying to figure out.
I put in the savings. I still take it out.
Yeah. No, the savings you keep there. You got to keep there.
You'll learn.
Yeah, you'll learn. We'll teach you. We got you.
All right. So thank you, Mycole, for being on the show. We appreciate you. Oh, you want to feel like a queen? She got her mental health in the hood clap.
Yeah.
All right. So the final announcements. Oh, okay.
They scared of bugs.
She knows
yeah,
that the bug was coming, so she was trying to remind me because I'm in nature right now. All right, announcements. The final Zoom meetup of Season 2 is going to be on Wednesday, September 30th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tell a friend, bring a friend. And so we want you guys to be there. You'll be able to find out when we're hosting it if you go to our Instagram or Facebook page or Twitter at Mental Health in the Hood. You'll be able to get that information. And then since this will be the end of Season 2, the final episode of Mycole is closing it out.
Yes.
Season 3 will be starting the week of Sunday, November 1st.
Yes.
Stay tuned. Okay? So, bless you.
Thank you.
So, with that being said, we want to thank you guys for consistently following us, supporting us. Make sure you subscribe. You see that button up? Subscribe. Okay?
Yeah. Subscribe, everyday people. Please subscribe.
Yes, please. We're trying to get this show on the forefront, so please subscribe. We need to, the more that we get as far as exposure, the more people we can help.
Yeah.
Okay, the more people can tell their stories. So thank you. And I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later.
Thank you, everyday people.